What's going on, guys? You all here, and welcome to Confabulate, the podcast where we talk about anything and everything. I'm your host, Will Sanchez. Thank you so much for stopping by. Season 8. We made it. It's been a long time coming. If you guys don't know, this is my last season, and I'm super stoked and excited and happy and sad and emotional and feeling all the things, but mostly just excited to really get to focus on other things. I feel like this podcast has been kind of in the way of quite a few things I wanted to do. Like, I don't know, I want to do covers and I want to sing again. I want to do an album. I want to write a book. I want to finish my degree. Like, there's so many things I want to do. And I'm super excited and stoked that I can now be at this level, right, as a content creator where I can really create something that feels like a full circle moment for me. And this is what season 8 is. This season is dedicated to all of my favorite guests that I've had throughout the years. And actually the first 4 that you guys are going to listen to these next 4 weeks are the people that have been requested the most. The people that are like, oh, Yoel, when are you going to have this person back? When are you going to record with this person? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see when the time is right. And we're kicking it off with Macias. Everyone wanted me to record with him again. He said yes. We did it. I'm super excited. He's kicking off season 8. Thank you so much, Mario. I love talking to you, and I hope everyone enjoys this episode. This is Mario Macias. Thank you. Let's go. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Hi, Mario. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. Thank you for having me on, man.
Thank you for coming on. So happy to see you. Um, I'm super excited to do this. You came on my first season about 4 years ago. Can't believe it's been 4 years. And I know I wanted to have you on again. So thank you for taking the time to be a part of my last season.
Of course, brother. I like what you're doing, man. It's actually a trip that it's been 4 years already. That's why I was excited to hop on this. It's a good way to kind of reminisce and see how much the world has changed, how much life has changed, and kind of just to look back and catch up in a sense.
Yeah. How has life changed for you these past 4 years? I know you made a big move. When I first interviewed you, you were in San Diego, and I know now you're in Vegas. Talk to me about how the past couple years have been for you.
Man, they've been life changing. Like I say that I have two lifetimes. It's one before I moved to San Diego and then after San Diego. Because I was forced to get incredibly uncomfortable and expand my mind in ways that I would have never expanded my mind if I stayed in Monterey. And just meeting so many different people from all over the place. San Diego is a very, very diverse place. So I got close with people from all over the country. And same thing moving to Vegas, just networking with all the right people and meeting and essentially seeing how different each state is, each
Mm,
city, and how much opportunity there really is out there.
mm. And sorry, I had my questions for you and they closed up. The first thing I wanted to talk to you though, you posted a video a couple months ago, and I remember watching it and I'm like, that looks so familiar. I know exactly where that is. You went to Puerto Rico, which is really, really cool. So I want to hear about your time in Puerto Rico. Why'd you go over there? How was it for you?
Puerto Rico was awesome. That's another moment that was a bit life-changing for me. So I
Mm,
went for a mastermind. Coming to Vegas, I made a lot of great connections. A big reason I moved to Vegas was to network and once again keep on growing, keep meeting new people, experiencing different places. San Diego was beautiful. I don't have a single complaint about San Diego, but I felt like I wasn't ready to be in paradise yet, if that makes sense. I
mm,
still felt like I needed to explore, grow in ways that, maybe chilling in paradise wasn't going to necessarily allow for me. But with moving here, I've met a lot of good people. One of those guys actually put together a mastermind in Puerto Rico. So he's deep into the credit space. He's like a credit guru, anything finances, credits, helping you basically hack the travel system. He's your guy, His name is
nice.
Rene Vasquez. Super dope guy. His Instagram is so valuable, just jam-packed with value. But he put together basically a bunch of guys that he knew in his industry, coming from sales, credit. I was the fitness bit guy, people in e-com, just everybody in different businesses, and he got us all together. It was about 10 of us that met with another group out there that he was close with. So he put the mastermind together with his buddy.
Yeah.
All these guys were like from Miami, and then we were kind of like from all over the place, Atlanta, Vegas, California. And we essentially all went out there and mastermind for 4 days. We ended up getting a couple yachts. We had some guest speakers at the Airbnbs, and we essentially just all networked with each other and saw how can we help each other out in the industries that we're in. And
Hmm.
on top of that, a little bit of partying, having
Yeah.
some good food. It was definitely a great time.
Yeah. Did you love it over there? The beaches, the food, the environment, the people?
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. The food was incredible. I ate a lot more than I probably should have, but I had no regrets.
Yeah. I love it when people that I know go to Puerto Rico, and I like to hear about how their time was. I love it also when you post about just because you're on vacation or it's the holidays, you can treat yourself. You don't have to be so hard on yourself all the time. There, you can always enjoy your little things here and there. I love that you talk and post about that as well.
100%. And even for that trip, like I got lean for that trip, and I still kind of stayed on track for the most part, but I also enjoyed the parts that I wanted to enjoy. And if I came back a little bit heavier or not as lean, that's perfectly fine. Like I was on a trip where I mastermind with a lot of great guys. It was an experience that I've never experienced before. I wasn't going to hold myself back because I didn't want to cheat on my diet. You know what I mean? There's a time
Mm,
and place for everything. And I tell all my clients, it's memories over macros. There's a time and place to be on point when you're doing something like that. It's probably not the time to be so strict on your macros.
mm. Yeah, I really want to know about what's a normal day for you look like, a typical day with your clients or at the gym. What does a normal day look like?
So my days right now, as for like the past couple of months, have been pretty copy and paste, which I really like. 2024 was a little bit more unorganized. There's just kind of different things happening. There's a lot of travel. I felt like I could not get a consistent routine and schedule. And that's just kind of where I was in life, which is fine. Sometimes you had to learn how to be fluid and adapt. But
Mm,
right now, since I'm gonna say like around September, I've had a really good flow of everything. I wake up, take my dog out immediately. I come back, have my pre-workout meal. I hit the gym, do my cardio, get my steps in, and I get home. I have my transition period where I eat, post content, respond to clients, any messages, anybody who is wanting to join the program, essentially just having conversations. From there, I'm either editing content or filming content, probably like a 2, 3 hour sprint, or hopping on calls with people. So I'll hop on calls with clients if they need a little bit more support. I am hopping on calls with people that want to join the program and, just want a little bit more information. And then at the end of the nights, I am normally doing a live. I go live on TikTok every single night for like an hour, 2 hours.
yeah.
Right now, I've been going on live for about 4 hours, one with Comfort, since I am a creator for them, and then for my fitness business
Mm.
for Endless Pursuits. So I'll be on live for like 4 hours at the end of each day.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that you're on social media too and you do videos. I do see your TikTok lives pop up. I'm a part of your Instagram group as well. I
Oh,
watch and read everything that you put. I'm a big fan of it, but I love the videos that I don't think you do too many anymore, but I've seen quite a few of when you go to fast food restaurants and give people options of what to order because I've struggled with that for a couple years where, I'm trying to watch what I eat. I'm trying to be leaner. I'm trying to eat a little cleaner, but sometimes it's hard when you're on the go. And I love that you give options for people to what to eat. Is that something that a lot of people struggle with the fast food and what to order and stuff?
yeah, so it's funny that you mentioned that. I was just on a call with my mentor like 2 days ago, and we were going over my profile. We're dissecting a couple of things, and he's like, "Why did you stop doing these?" I was like, "That's a good question. I just me and my editor haven't gone together. We've been busy. I've filmed a couple other things that I
Mm,
kind of just like laid off of that, but they were performing so well, and I got a lot of good feedback on them. So like this week, I dedicated to getting back on that as soon as possible, where I am creating these fast food options or even grocery options, because I feel like that's what it's like the small things like that that people are looking for that people like me or other coaches kind of skip over sometimes because to us it's common knowledge. But for somebody who doesn't really understand a lot yet, it's not common knowledge. And that's the thing that helps them a lot, especially in the beginning of their journey.
It's also very relatable to everyone. Everyone can relate to it, and it's helpful for people of all sorts. I also wanted to ask you, what kind of music do you like to listen to at the gym? What kind of playlist do you have going on? Any music that you like to listen to?
Yeah, so I have a playlist I've been playing for like 3 years. I'll add a couple songs every now and then. But it's a lot of Lil Baby, Lil Durk, some
Mm,
Drake, Lil Peep. Who else? Every now and then I'll throw on like a set of BTSM, if I'm kind of like craving hardstyle or something. Sometimes I'll throw on some Bad Omens if I'm feeling a little bit more um like rock in a sense. A little bit of everything. And then
mm-hmm.
sometimes I just let the gym play its music and I won't be using any headphones, which sometimes is kind of peaceful because I don't know about you, but sometimes I'm at the gym, I'm sick of my own music. And the fact that I'm sick of my own music is taking me away from my workout because I'm like, oh, what's the perfect song right now? And sometimes I can't find it. Sometimes I don't know what I'm in the mood for. So sometimes having no music is better.
Yes, I've been doing that too because I go to InShape in Monterey, and they have always music playing that I actually really like.
Mhm.
But yeah, I get tired of my stuff too. I hit even if I hit shuffle or I hit another playlist, I'm like I know every song and I get tired of it. But what's been new, I've been doing a lot of like heavy rock, like um just the classics like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Foreigner, all those bands growing up. And it's actually pretty hearing I don't know, hearing the heavy drums and the guitars like it keeps me going. So that's what I've been into now, the rock music as well.
Yeah, it's a big switch up from what I normally listen to, which I think I really like.
hmm I wanted to ask you a little bit of a personal question, I guess. I want to know, what is your relationship now with your body? I know you've gone through many stages throughout the years with the gym, many transitions, and a lot of people. I mean, I did a TikTok the other day of different stages of my body, how much I've changed throughout the years, and sometimes your thinnest moments are not your healthiest. Obviously, your biggest moments are not your healthiest. It's a bit of both, and for me, it's always been about health. If I'm healthy, I'm exercising enough, I'm eating good enough. But my weight will always fluctuate. I'm always a different size, and I want to know about your relationship with your body throughout the years.
That's a good question. So throughout the years for myself, it's always been very tough. I've gone from when I was a freshman in high school, I was very insecure about my weight, so I lost a lot of weight, and I got to 125 pounds at 6 feet. I always wore sweaters. My girlfriend at the time was heavier than me, which made me even more insecure. So I was like,
Mm,
okay, I went from being chubby to super skinny. Now I got to gain weight. They're telling me to gain weight in football. So I went from 125 to 205 in like a year or two. So 80 pounds. Now I'm moving slower. Now I feel fat. Now it's like I was never able to find like that perfect middle ground where I was building muscle, staying lean, having abs. I didn't have abs until I was 18 or 19. And when I discovered how it all worked, I call it the game of fitness. You had to learn how to play the game. You need to learn the rules if you actually want to progress. Once I found out how energy balance really works, it blew my mind. I'm like, okay, this is what I've been searching for my entire life. And I only found out because, I had a coach at the time and he broke everything down, helped me out tremendously. That's when it all shifted for me. And this is where it also kind of became a problem because I went from being super skinny, always trying to figure it out. My friends were athletic. I was never athletic. I was never athletic in the sense where I wasn't good. In football, I was good enough just to start, but I always had to work twice as hard as everybody else. I didn't party, I didn't drink. I showed up to every workout, every double day, morning workouts. Like I always felt like I had to work twice as hard just to keep up.
oh,
And
sorry.
no, you're good.
It happens a
And
lot. It happens a lot during interviews.
is that your ringtone?
Yeah, my ringtone. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was where was I? The fact that I always felt like I had to work twice as hard to get where everybody else was at naturally. In track and field, I was not good. I was dead last. I remember being last and then cheering on for Jose and Jojo at the time because they were gonna get first and second. I was seventh place just cheering them on. I'm like, hell yeah, these guys are gonna do it because I'm not. Um But when I discovered how to get lean, how the game worked, I finally got lean and I got abs.
Mm,
And I didn't want to let it go because I spent 4 or 5 years trying to figure it out. I was always chubby. And when I finally got abs, I did not want to let it go. My coach was like, okay, well, now it's time to grow. We need to put on healthy weight. You're not supposed to be shredded all the time. And I'm like,
mm,
well, I want to be. I want my abs. It took me forever to get here. I finally have them. Why are you going to take them away from me? So what I ended up getting into this very unhealthy cycle where I would binge eat, and then I'm like, oh, well, I gained 10 pounds overnight. Now I got to cut again. And then I would cut down again. I would get my abs, and then I would binge eat, and then I'd go back up. And it was just this repetitive cycle to where it became very unhealthy. So
wow.
I didn't understand what was happening at the time, but I was psychologically binge eating so that I can stay in a calorie deficit because I was too scared to leave the calorie deficit.
Mm,
And eventually I kind of got over that. And I realized like how unhealthy that was, how hard it was psychologically. I lost a lot of muscle doing that because you're not supposed to be in a calorie deficit that long or binge eating. It's
mm,
terrible on your health. And eventually I started doing things a lot more healthier. And because I struggled so much in my journey is also why I started helping other people because I never wanted anybody to experience everything I had to go through just to look better. I was
mm,
like, I can just teach this to somebody in 6 months versus them taking 5 or 6 years to try to figure it out. Now I'm in the place where I'm still not happy with my body. I'm definitely proud and not satisfied, but definitely proud of where I'm at because I've technically achieved my dream body. I have a picture from 2017 where I took in uh, in my kitchen, and then I have the second picture is a picture I took off of Instagram of these two guys on the beach, and I said I want to look like that. Like that's my dream body. I don't need any more. Once I get that, I'm done. Like that is my dream body. I passed that already. Like I already blew past that. And now I'm in a place where, okay, cool, I've achieved my dream body. What direction do I want to go in now?
mm,
At first, I was going to do boxing. I can't do boxing because of medical issues. Now I'm going into bodybuilding. So I'm my own biggest critique. I've made a lot of progress. My physique look nice. I think my physique looks nice when I'm really lean, but I'm still not satisfied with it. I'm like, no, I see all the flaws in every area. So I think to sum it up, proud but not satisfied, but happy that I've reached my dream body from when I was 15 years old, 16, 17 years old.
wow.
I think 17-year-old self is very proud of where I'm at right now with my physique.
Hmm. Wow. Hearing that journey, hearing that come from you is very inspirational because I went through a similar process too, and hearing it from you is really cool to hear. I remember being 15, 16. I always grew up being a little chunkier. I was always a little um, heavier, but as soon as high school hit and I did cross country and track and field and tennis for 4 years, I was doing three sports for a whole 4 years, and I got really thin because in cross country, oh my God, that is like, I still say to this day, one of the hardest sports. Like,
Yeah.
the coach just casually says, oh, run 3 miles out, 3 miles back, 1 mile warm up, 1 mile cool down. I'm like, I was running a lot and barely eating too, because I don't know, maybe you could explain this to me, but I noticed really early on what I ate for breakfast and for lunch really had a big effect on how my workout would go. And you know what they served in high school? Like, I couldn't really eat the pizza there, the hamburgers, the spicy chicken sandwiches. I had to eat a lot of the cleaner stuff, the power packs, the salads, the PB&Js, fruit, stuff like that, because I would just feel very heavy in all my workouts and it would like weigh on me and my stomach would hurt. And so I had to eat a lot lighter things, but I lost weight so quickly. I remember I was a medium for most of high school, but I went straight to a small. I would get my physical every year. They told me I'm underweight, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to quit sports. I want to keep running. I want to keep um, doing jumps and playing tennis, but it was hard. I got really really thin, and then as soon as high school ended, all those sports ended, and I got a gym membership. But I was able to get bigger, but I gained like about 80 pounds right after high school, and then I was able to lose about 20, and then I went back up 15. It was always fluctuating. But yeah, I'm at a point now where I'm very happy and content with how I am now. Obviously, not where I want to be. I feel like we always have goals. We always want to improve, and there's always little things that we pick on and want to improve on. But yeah, I'm at a point now where I mean I'm the best I've been. I've been everywhere in the scale, very very thin, very very big. So um, but yeah, I admire your story. It's very cool. Um, can you explain to me though, like I don't know, me struggling like with what I have to eat and then it affected my workout? Is there like a
So
reasoning for
one
that?
thing is that I don't think people understand how taxing running really is. So
Mm-hmm.
running, especially for miles on miles and miles on end, you're running what, like an average 6 miles a day,
Yeah.
5 times a week. And that's like your average day. Sometimes you guys have like your longer days where you're running maybe like 9 miles. That is so taxing on the body. And when you are a runner, your diet has to be a little bit different than if you are a bodybuilder, if you're physique training. If you're focused on building muscle, your diet's going to be a certain way. And if you're focused on running all the time, your diet's going to be the way. Now, you're probably still eating similar foods, but if you're going to run for 6 miles, 8 miles, you do not want to have like much food in your stomach. It's gonna weigh you down. Like you said, you're gonna feel full. You're
Yeah.
gonna start to get those cramps. It's not fun. Versus like if I'm eating to go weightlift, I'm eating an hour before. And as long as I'm not too full, I'm good. That food is gonna energize me through my workout, and I'm gonna be good. But another thing is that I think electrolyte balance is a huge thing that doesn't get talked about too much, especially in running. So one thing could have been that your electrolyte balance could have been completely off from how much you're running versus how much sodium you're actually getting every single day versus how much water you're actually getting. So there might have been an imbalance that also could have been affecting, your entire workout. And you could have thought it was your food, and it could have just been your electrolytes completely thrown off. You're maybe having too much water or not enough water or not enough salt. And running
Mm.
will definitely kind of like highlight that. I have friends that do marathons and, they have their electrolyte packets. They know when to time it. They know how much water to have. It's a lot. Like you actually have to take all that into consideration. But when we're in high school, we think we're just running. It's like, oh, we got to run. Oh, maybe I should drink some water. You're not taking the little things into consideration, the details.
Yeah. Thank you for mentioning electrolytes because all I would drink was water. And I was like, why am I getting lightheaded after every workout? Why do I feel like I'm
Headaches,
gonna pass out? Why do I
cramps.
need to lay down? And they're like, yo, well, that's why they make Gatorade. That's why they make Powerade, vitamin water. Like, keep your sugar levels up, keep the electrolytes. Water's great, but always have those things. That's why they make drinks like that.
Yep. And even then, a lot of them, like Gatorade, is probably isn't your best option. There's a lot of other packets out there that actually have the right balance that
Hmm.
will be a little bit better, versus like a Gatorade or what is that influencer drink that supposed
Prime, right?
Prime, yeah, versus like a Prime. It's like the last thing I want to have after a workout. Like
Mm-hmm.
the ingredients in there isn't really what is going to hydrate you as well as some other drinks.
Mm-hmm. What's like a number one issue or a common issue with your clients that you notice that maybe they're not seeing the results that they want? What's something common that you see a lot?
I would say lifestyle integration. So this is why I call my program the lifestyle integration model because it's what I've came up the past 4 years so that it works with each individual. When
Mm-hmm.
you work with me, you don't just get a meal plan and a workout program and say good luck. It's like we are sitting down and we are integrating this into your life. It's a permanent fix. Like that is my goal with you is that when you're done working with me, you can do this for the rest of your life. You don't need me anymore. A lot of my clients stay with me because they like that one-on-one. I've been with my coach since like 2019. I think that extra accountability helps out tremendously. It buys you back some willpower. It's like, oh, I know I need to check in with my coach on Tuesday. So, oh no, I probably shouldn't go drinking on Saturday. Like I don't care for it. Like I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
stay home and I got somebody to check in with every single week. Somebody who knows more than me. But the biggest struggle I would say is lifestyle integration. Everybody's busy. Everybody travels. Everybody has things come up in their life. Everybody has trauma. Everybody has unfortunate things that pop up. It's like nobody is unique or special in their case. It's like you have to learn how to integrate this into your life. And a lot of people don't want to accept that. They think they're a special case where, oh, they just can't fit it into their life. It's like everybody's busy. Like we all have things going on. And I think the sooner you accept that and you realize that, okay, cool, my life is never going to slow down. The perfect time is never going to come. I have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to make this into my lifestyle. I have to learn how to, accept this as my identity, that I am the type of person that prioritizes their health above all the other things that are happening in your life. Like if you're prioritizing your work over your health, I mean, chances are your job doesn't care about you. Like, not as
Mm,
much as you think, at least. And I
mm,
always tell people, like, if you don't focus on your health now, you're gonna be forced to focus on it later. And people think I mean like, oh, overweight or oh, diabetes, like not in that sense. Focusing on your health can mean 100 different things. I'll give myself as an example. I've had some issues internally with my blood work over the past few years. In 2022, I had some thyroid issues. And then last year, I had some adrenal gland issues as well. So I had to take time off the gym or pull back on stress. And the only reason that was an issue was because I wasn't prioritizing my health a couple months earlier. My sleep wasn't on point. I would say my diet wasn't as good as it could have been. My stress was incredibly high. So because I wasn't mitigating or handling those things correctly, I was forced to have to handle it later on. So
mm,
if the beginning of the year I wasn't taking care of it, by summertime I was having internal issues and I was forced to take care of it. Where like I would wake up and I did not feel good. I knew I wasn't good. And I had to get blood work. I had to take certain supplements. I had to really pull back on the gym. I couldn't train as hard anymore. So this goes for all things.
mm.
It's not just weight wise or like diabetes, or it's like if you don't take care of your health now, you're going to be forced to later. And that can mean so many different things.
Wow. What would you say is the one of the hardest things though when going through a fitness journey? Is it like dedication? Is it what do you think it is?
I would say roughly around the same line, the lifestyle integration,
Okay.
integrating it into your life and accepting it as your identity. It's the
Mm,
identity shift that's the hardest part for people because if it was simply about information, just like, oh, what workouts to do, what should I eat,
mm,
um, how many calories for my height, weight, and all that. Like you can go on ChatGPT and do all that for free. And if you just follow it, you'll probably see results. All
mm,
the information is out there on YouTube. Jeff Nippard posts quite literally everything. If you look up Jeff Nippard right now, like so much information, free,
mm,
value packed. The problem doesn't lie with information, it lies with making this a lifestyle and accepting it. So the moment somebody accepts that this is their lifestyle now, that they are choosing to transform, that's when it gets easy because it's easier to be 100% in than it is to be 90% in. If you want to keep
mm,
your old habits and have your new self, it doesn't work. Like you can't go in opposing directions. It's you either let go of old habits and you're not going to be perfect, but if you're just committed to changing and getting better, then you're going to get better.
mm,
Um, I think that's the hardest part for people. It's accepting that it needs to be a lifestyle and that it needs to be a priority every single day. I see a lot of people want to keep old habits and see a new version of themselves when it doesn't work that way,
mm.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, actually.
Yeah, lifestyle is the key. I wanted to talk about diets with you next because there's so many diets and everyone's try this, and I tried keto, but when I was on keto, and I know you talked about it in a few videos, I noticed early on I'm like, "Oh wait, this ain't just no diet. Like this is a lifestyle. I have to keep at it." And I did it for almost a whole year. But a lot of those diets are lifestyles. You have to make a switch and change how you eat completely and keep going with it. So, what are your views on some of those diets out there?
So I always say if a diet is not sustainable, if you can't do it for a lifetime, you shouldn't do it for a week. The reason I like a flexible approach, so track your macros and actually learning what your favorite foods are, what you enjoy eating, is because once again, you want to fit this into your lifestyle. You want to make it something that you're eating every single day. If you're doing keto, but you love bagels, why would you do keto?
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you're eliminating an entire macronutrient, the main source of fuel, actually, too, carbohydrates. So anything that's not sustainable that you can do for a lifetime, I say don't even do it for a week because it's not worth it. You have the carnivore diet that's really popular right now, and the founder of the carnivore diet isn't even doing it because it gave him health complications after 2 years. So he's like, yeah, I can't do it anymore. So the founder, the guy who created it, doesn't even advocate for it anymore. And you're going to lose weight most likely because it's going to help put you in a calorie deficit. If all you eat is steak and eggs, just meat and dietary fats from whole nutrient dense foods, chances are you're going to be very full You're probably going to feel better because it's better than what you were doing before. And you're going to be full. So you're going to be in a calorie deficit, which is going to cause you to lose weight. So it's a short-term solution, but you can't do it for the rest of your life. What happens when
Mm,
you go on vacation? What happens when you're on the go and you need to eat out? What happens when, I don't know, maybe you are at a wedding or something, and you want to have some food. If you don't know how to approach these realistic settings or environments, you're gonna have a tough time sticking to it.
mm. Can you explain water weight to me? I've heard you say a few times that you're just gonna lose the water weight. What is that?
So your body will hold on to more water for a number of different reasons.
Mm,
One can just simply be dehydration. One can be just having a little bit more sodium than you normally have. One can be stress. So your body will just hold on to water, and if you want to help get rid of that water weight, you can just drink more water and continue doing what you're doing. You don't have to do anything fancy. The more hydrated you are, less stressed you are, get good sleep, get your steps in. The more your body's not necessarily going to be holding on to water. It's not going to be so stressed. The more stressed you
mm,
are, the more it's going to hold on to water. Now, carbohydrates bind to water molecules, and which is why they're called carbohydrate. And when you have more carbs, you're going to be a little bit heavier. That doesn't mean that you are putting on more fat, and that doesn't mean the water weight is a bad thing. Your muscles are filled with water molecules. Like it's not a bad thing. So when you take creatine and it helps put water in the right areas, it's gonna make you look better, more dense.
mm.
And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's doing what it's meant to do. But when somebody hops on, let's say keto, so now we're on the opposite end of the spectrum where we aren't consuming any carbs. So now the water molecules don't have much to bind onto, meaning you're gonna drop weight pretty fast because now you're not eating carbs and there's really nothing for the water molecules to really bind onto or hold onto. So that's where you see people drop 5, 10 pounds in like a week. Like, oh my
Mm.
God, keto. It's really just water weight that you're flushing out. The moment you
Mm.
start eating carbs again, you're gonna spike back up. But the whole time you're focused on the scale, not focused on whether or not you're losing body fat. You're just losing
Got it.
weight. And there's a big difference between losing weight and losing body fat. I don't know about everybody else, anybody watching this. I want to lose body fat. I don't care about losing weight. If I'm 250 pounds, but I look like a supermodel, I don't care that I'm 250 pounds. And I think everybody can kind of like agree with that, or most people would agree with that. They care more about, or they should care more about more how they look versus the number on the scale.
Yes, I agree completely. And can you also explain skinny fat to me? I've heard that term quite a few. So what's skinny fat?
Skinny fat is that it's when you're under muscled and your body fat percentage is a little bit too high. And this normally
Okay.
just comes from the macronutrient distribution that you have. So normally when somebody comes onto my program, there's more skinny fat. They have skinny arms. When you put a shirt on, they look skinny. You take the shirt off, maybe they have a lot of fat in their chest, fat in their stomach, love handles. That was me my entire life. I was always skinny fat. And it was like frustrating. I'm like,
Hmm.
how am I fat and skinny? I can't pick a struggle. Like it was the most frustrating like middle ground to be in. And it just comes from being under muscled and body fat percentage being a little too high. So when you don't hit the weights and your dietary fats are high, your carbs are high, and your protein is low, then you're going to build more of like a skinny fat look. And this is where most people are at because, most people aren't in the gym. Most people don't really eat as much protein as they should. So to kind of help reverse this, I say there's two approaches you can take. If you already this is approach number one. If you already have muscle, maybe you've been in the gym for a year or 2 years, you have some muscle, but you're still kind of skinny fat, go through a cut, get as lean as you can, maybe like 8% body fat if you can push yourself, and then slowly reverse your calories back up to around maintenance. The second
Mm.
approach is if you're completely new, use those newbie gains and sit at maintenance calories and then just get your protein up, get good sleep, train very hard so you'll lose body fat and build muscle at the same time. And then after 8 to 12 months, now you go with the approach one, which was now you can go through a cut, expose some of the muscle that you have, and then slowly increase calories and get yourself back at maintenance. Doing basically a completely having a completely new body composition after doing that.
Got it. I can't wait to watch this back later and take notes, and I'm happy that I'm gonna have this so I can remember. I feel like this is like a one-on-one class. I love it.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to ask you about gym must-haves. Anything that you feel like people should always have with them at the gym, from a bag, obviously their water, anything that they should always bring with them?
Yeah, so I need to make a reel about this because I actually have this in my notes, like my
Mm,
gym must-haves, like what's in my gym bag. Um, I would say get yourself some good grips for sure. Versa grips on Amazon, a little bit expensive. They used to be cheap. They used to be like $45, but now they're like $90.
mm,
But it's worth it. Like what grips are, it's like it's a wrist strap with like a rubber flap. And what it does is like any pulling motions, it allows you to hook it around the bar and then put on your hand so that you're not focused on gripping the bar. You're focused more on rowing. And these are good for deadlifts. These are good for rows. These are good for RDLs. They will help you load more weight so that you actually target the muscle that you're looking to target rather than focusing so much on your grip strength. For
mm.
me, I have terrible grip strength. If I try to do dumbbell RDLs without my grips, I can probably only do like 90 before my grips give out. I would do like 8 reps and then my hands will give out. Now with grips on, I'll probably do 140-pound dumbbells for 8 to 12 reps. Now, that just comes from me being able to actually hold on to the dumbbells. So it's like my back, my back, my hamstrings can handle the load, my grip strength can't. So that's where the grips come in. I think everybody should have a pair of grips. They help out tremendously if you're trying to grow your back. That's what's going to help you grow your back because that's the difference between like 50 pounds, you know? So
Wow.
you can grow your back a lot more if you're push or if you're pulling more weight. Of course, your water. I like having elbow sleeves and wrist wraps. Had some bad tendonitis in the past, so my joints are really kind of like old. Feel like I have joints of a 7-year-old man. Um, what else? And a belt is optional. You don't need a belt, but it's good for bracing. Now, a belt isn't going to protect you, but it is going to give you something to brace against. So I use it as like a reminder to help me brace against the belt. Not it's not there to just protect you. So you still need to learn how to brace properly, and that helps you brace against the belt to help protect your spine.
Got it. What about waist trainers? The trainers that go around here?
Scams, they're not going to help lose body fat.
Yeah, I've
The
seen a
only thing
lot of
that's
them all the time. Yeah.
Oh yeah. They will help you lose water weight in a sense. So let's say you are a boxer. You need to make weight by then. That's why they throw on like the bodysuits, like the trash bags and everything, so they sweat a ton. So if you're trying to lose water weight very fast, you probably sit in the sauna, you probably throw on a waist trainer. So it will help with that, but it's not going to help with direct body fat loss.
Mm, got it. And also, are there any more goals for you, career-wise? Anything left that you want to achieve in your career?
That's a good question. There's a handful of things that I really want to dive into in the next couple of years. So I think a big one is continuing to grow Endless Pursuit to the point that I want to grow it to. I definitely want to make a few hires, hire an assistant coach, hire a back end team to help me out with the business. So that's a big one. I have plans of doing that this year. A second one is really growing and scaling UGC content. So I got into more UGC content over the past 6 months, and I work with Comfort. I don't know if you've seen them on TikTok. They're
Mm,
like that sweatset company that you've probably seen their ads, and another athleisure company that I really like as well. I know the owners; they're great guys. I love what their company is about, and working with their businesses as a creator has just been fulfilling to me. You know, I've worked
wow.
with companies in the past, I've done photo shoots and stuff, but I've never really felt like what's the word? Aligned or attached. I was like, whatever. Like I didn't really care too much about it. But
Yeah.
with these two companies, I align with them so well that I want to be a part of their mission. Um, and I'm able to do so without it taking away from my fitness coaching business. You know, I'm still able to create the impact that I am with fitness, and I'm also still able to do a lot of UGC content and not have it feel like it's taking away what I'm trying to do, but something because I just enjoy doing it and it's very fulfilling to me.
Wow, that's incredible. I love that. Um, and I'll be supporting you all the way. I watch all your videos. I love seeing all your stuff.
Appreciate it.
Um, we're getting towards the end of it. I forgot to ask you. You had um like a scary incident, right? Like a year or two ago, you were hospitalized. How's everything going? Is everything okay?
So yeah, everything's good now. I mean, I never went back to get checked, so we'll find out. No, but I'm good. I was boxing and I had a fight lined up. I was going to be fighting competitively in amateurs. I was training here in Vegas at Top Rank. It's a really big known gym for boxers. You see a lot of the pros coming in. It was intense, but I
Mm,
was all in. I was training 6 days a week. And the doctors said that it was stress induced. And I had a very stressful week. I sparred, so I fought like 4 times that week. Just high stress from all the training, no sleep because I had a nose injury.
mm,
Um, and I ended up having an unexpected seizure. And I was just visiting my family back home, and it just literally happened randomly while I was talking to my tia. So that happened, and I went to go get checked out. They think it was just some brain damage. I got a bunch of tests ran, and they think it was just stress induced. That they couldn't find any major like brain damage, but they said that I just can't fight anymore. That it's not worth the risk, and if I was in the NFL, that I would not be able to play anymore. Like they wouldn't allow me to play.
wow.
And so that kind of like shifted my direction with where I was going with fitness, where I did like my goal was to be a pro in 2 years with boxing. Like that's the direction I was heading in. And I feel that God said that that wasn't my plan.
Mm,
And I really think that that was the only thing that was going to stop me because my mom tried stopping me from boxing. I wasn't going to stop boxing for any reason, but that reason, like where I just can't.
mm,
So I really took it as a sign. I think God said I have different plans for you and that that's not your path. So very grateful for that experience. I think it was one of the best experiences ever. Um, I explained to someone I've never felt so alive from it. Like that's the best way I
mm.
can explain it.
Wow. Yeah, isn't that crazy where you have something planned and you're going all for it, but sometimes life just takes you in a different direction without, even realizing it. Just kind of happens. You're like, oh, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen, and now I'm in this whole other, um, I don't know, part of the journey that I just did not see coming. It happens,
Yep.
yeah.
It was life changing. It gave me a different perspective on life for sure. Especially kind of experience. I've never had a seizure ever. So it was my first time having that experience, but it was also a very long one and a very like tough one. I was bedridden for like 3 weeks after because of the muscle spasms. And yeah, I had a lot of time to lay down and think
Mm,
since that's all I could do. I literally laid down and just had all this time to think about the direction that I'm heading and what is it that I want to do next. So overall, it was a good experience. Now the muscle spasms were terrible,
mm,
but the overall experience and the lessons, priceless. I even if I read about it, I wouldn't truly understand if I didn't experience it.
mm. Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you're taken care of, and I'm glad that we have professionals in this world to help people, and I'm glad that you're safe and okay. Um, last question. We're getting to the end of the episode. Do you have any questions for me before we wrap up?
What's your goal with your podcasting, Confabulate? Where do you see it
Uh,
heading? What got you started, but what keeps you going?
what got me started? Well, I remember it was COVID. We were all very segregated. And I already was doing YouTube videos for a little bit. I love creating content, and my first love is singing. Singing has always been my number one thing. So I was doing that for a couple years, and I already had all the equipment, and I thought the main thing that got me to start it was just to reconnect with people that I haven't talked to in a long time. And at first it was just gonna be a few. It was gonna be like whatever. So I did 12 episodes, and then I don't know. As a content creator and as like I've always been a creative person, I always need to. How do I say this? I was always very shy, timid, and more reserved, introverted. And the only place where I flourished and where I was able to express myself was in art. So I've been songwriting since middle school. I was always singing in the choir. I was always singing, and I love music and creating content. So I started doing the podcast, and I just kept coming up with like ideas, like left and right. I'm like, I want to do this person, interview this person. I want to do a whole season of album breakdowns. I did a whole season of teachers and coaches and people that left an impact on my life. I just did one with family members. Um, yeah, I just kept coming up with ideas, but I knew I wasn't gonna go. I wasn't gonna keep going. I don't know if you could relate to this, but I feel like that's why people retire. I feel very proud and happy and content with what I've done. I'm very proud of what I've done. But this is not my calling. This is not my number one thing. My number one is music. I'm a music major. I have 2 more semesters and then I'll get my bachelor's. But my main thing was always singing. So I want to get back to singing and doing videos. I also love to write. I've been writing a book for the past 3 to 4 years. Two different books. One's like a cookbook that I'm doing with like friends and family, and another one's more about my life, but it's funny, but also talks about struggles and advice and stuff like that. It's been a fun book that I've been writing. But yeah, my main thing is just singing and music. So when I was kind of wrapping up the podcast, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do one more season, season eight. Eight's my lucky number. I'm very proud and happy to end it there after 4 years. Cause I don't know, I feel like I did everything I wanted to do. I'm very happy with it. So I don't want to keep going if I'm just ready to move on, and put a stamp on it. It's kind of like you're just ready for the next journey. Like this was fun for the past 4 years, and we can just move on from it. So, yeah, this will be the last of it, but I'm happy because the episodes they'll always be there for people to listen, and so it'll always be there. Maybe I'll come back at some point because I do have another idea to interview business owners. I had a business class and my instructor was the owner of the Monterey Jazz Festival at the fairgrounds. And I'm like, she'd be cool to interview. And then we, my dad is the owner of JT Plumbing, but we work for all of Pebble Beach, a bunch of restaurants, and I'm like, it'd be cool to interview like business owners in our area that are well known, like the owner of I don't know, like the Fisherman's Grotto or Kyoki's Korean the barbecue place, the Hawaiian place here in Marina. Like there's some popular places that people love. It'd be cool to interview business owners, maybe someone from the aquarium. But I thought of that like a month ago, and I'm like maybe at one point when I get back I'll do that because it's a cool idea and not a lot of content creators are like in the Monterey area, so it'd be cool to.
That's a great idea. And I think you'll know when you want to circle back to that because I
Yeah.
also know what you mean. I'm like, okay, I'm okay closing this door. I think this has served as a very good way of documenting for you because you're
Mm,
always going to be able to look back at this with the people that you've interviewed, what it meant to you. You can be 20 years older, 20 years from now, looking back at these and remember this chapter, the past chapters that you've created, since we started, which was 2020. That's 4 years of documenting. But I think that's a great idea. I think business owners would be really good. The people aren't documenting in Monterey that much, and I think Monterey is a hidden gem that the young crowd hasn't discovered yet because the older crowd knows Monterey. But
mm-hmm.
I'm barely starting to see Monterey pop up on TikTok and Instagram Reels, and people kind of stumbling upon the hidden gem that Monterey is for our generation.
Yes, and I've been saying that for a while. I'm like, there needs to be a content creator here that even like the interviewing the people on the streets or just like I don't know, eat at this place or do this. Like we need someone like that because I see all the LA stuff, all the New York stuff, the Florida stuff, but it'd be really cool to see the Monterey one. But yeah, that's an idea I have now that I'll probably circle back to in the near future. But yeah, I just want to wrap up these episodes. You're one of the first ones I'm doing, but every weekend until March, I think I'm recording, and then I can put them out. And then I still have school, so 2 more semesters, and I can graduate. But yeah, I want to get back to singing. I have like about 50 songs that I want to do, and I'm a lot better than I was at 17, so I'm very excited to do it. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much it. Your answer.
That's awesome, Yoel. Well, bro, you're gonna crush it. I'm excited to keep seeing you create and really just show up as your authentic self. I think you've always done a very good job of that since I've known you, even since high school. You've always done a really good job of showing up as your most authentic self, and that's probably one of your best qualities, man. So definitely keep that up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I remember when you came on the first time, I was so shocked that you said yes because we only interacted on social media a couple times. So when you said yeah, I'm like, oh shit, I'm officially meeting you. I know we had photography together with Mr.
You
Yanowski,
know?
but our first time meeting was through Zoom, and here we are 4 years later. So it's a cool first circle moment for you to come on my first season. You're on my last one, so thank you. I really appreciate you coming on.
Of course, brother.
A couple things, if you can text me a good address so I could send you a crew neck and send you a thank you letter. And then also, we got to take a picture before you finish up.
Gotcha, let's do it.
Oh, and also a song. I have a playlist on Spotify and Apple Music where all of my guests can add a song to the playlist. So let me
Yeah.
know what song you want to add.
Okay. I think I got one in mind. I'll text it to you.
Perfect. Okay. I think I remember how to screenshot here. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
One, two. All right. I think we're good.
There it is.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right,
Mario.
brother.
I
Let me know
appreciate
if
it.
you need anything, man. Chris, the rest of the day, all right?
I will. Thank you.
Sir.
Bye.